What's up, everybody? Welcome to GeekdomMovies. I'm Shannon Gibson. That is my friend Fahad, and that is George.
Hey.
We do movie reviews. If you haven't joined us before, welcome. We do movie reviews, trailer reviews, non-spoiler, spoiler reviews, and movie news. What are you doing?
I'm trying to fix my jacket.
All right, guys. So while he gets
This is what
situated,
I get for trying to wear a new jacket because I want to look cool today.
So while he's over there getting situated, join us on Patreon, and we do have a link down in the description below for where you can donate some money to our Patreon channel. Sign up to give $1 a month or $2 a month, and that really helps us out as far as making content. This is, I believe, episode 11, isn't it?
I have absolutely no idea, but I trust you.
Okay.
Because you have that brain that remembers things.
I think this is episode 11, but you will see it because we'll put it in the title in the description.
It is probably episode 11. You're right. Let's go with it. Yeah.
All right.
We're gonna be confident. Episode 11.
Fahad, what are we going to be going over today?
Okay, so we wanted to do movie news first. We're gonna change the format up just a tiny bit. So we'll do movie news. Me and Shannon got a chance to watch Abominable, so we're gonna talk about that. George hasn't unfortunately seen it yet, but he will still try to see it apparently.
Yes, I will.
It's a good date night movie, by the way. You might want to take a girl.
Yeah.
Not that we're putting your personal life on. Anyways, and then we did do a non-spoiler review for Joker, but now that it's Monday, well, I might not have this up till Tuesday, but it's been a few days. I'm sure you guys have all seen it, so we're officially gonna do a spoiler review for Joker, which will be exciting.
Man, do we have a lot to talk about there.
And yes, we do. And I put all my movie news on my phone, so I gotta grab it now. So let's see what our first topic is for movie news. Okay, it's opening. Okay, so the first bit of news is a lot of Spider-Man, a lot of Tom Holland news.
I told you guys, I told you, don't worry, they're going to get him back in the franchise. There's too much money on the line for them not to bring Tom Holland back on.
I think also this deal kind of works out because now that Sony's putting up the money just as much as Disney is, Sony Pictures and Disney, what helps with that is that, they both can get half the box office, and that's not a bad deal. I mean, Disney gets to keep all of the box office when it comes to Avengers movies, and Sony gets nothing. But Sony now have producing the movies like Disney, they're gonna be able to both make a significant income.
So you mean to tell me that Sony kind of caved into Disney?
I think Disney caved into Sony more than anything else because...
Well, I thought Disney was the one who originally proposed the 50-50.
Oh yeah, Disney did propose the 50-50, and Sony, I guess, went along with it because what are they going to do? Sell and make a new Spider-Man movie without... They're going to lose a lot of money.
They tried.
Yeah, they did try. I mean, the Raimi films did huge box office, but that was before the MCU, before, we get 10 superhero movies per year.
The original superhero movie, they were like...
No, the original superhero movies were Superman from the 70s with Christopher Reeve.
But
yes.
the Sam Raimi thing, that started our whole modern era of superhero movies.
That's true. I'll give you that. Spider-Man 1 with Sam Raimi was the one that really made something crazy opening weekend, 130 million, which was unheard of back in the day. Nobody's ever done that before.
Especially superhero movies weren't making any money back then.
That's true. And that kind of opened the door to X-Men 1 came out a year before, and X-Men 2 did a lot more because Spider-Man 1 did a lot more. And then we had more Batman, Superman, of course, and all the other superhero movies you watch today. So it did kind of open the door where every studio, if you were a studio and you made movies, you were probably working on some form of superhero movie, I would say, after the Raimi film. So yeah. But anyways, this is great news. I'm more excited, as me and George will talk about. Tom Holland has one more Spider-Man movie left and one more Disney Avengers type movie left. What they're going to do with that, I don't know. But I'm more excited because Tom Holland has signed a multiple deal for Uncharted, which is me and George's one of our favorite games.
Absolutely.
We've played all 4 games, and it takes 10 years before the game. And Tom Holland's playing a young Nathan Drake.
Interesting.
And I wish... I know people are going to hate me for saying this, and I don't care. I'm sorry. I've seen enough Spider-Man movies. just go make Uncharted movies because we love them.
Yes, absolutely.
Can you just imagine they're basically Indiana Jones type movies, or the video games are like Indiana Jones
They're
adventure.
better than Indiana Jones. The storyline I think is better because it's based off more so like the I don't know, like India, I think. For
You mean
the majority
Asia?
of it. Yeah, well, somewhere
There are
in there.
no Nazis with their face melting off?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
But there are bad guys who
There
are
bad guys that are
Asian
crazy things that
countries
happen.
and
Yes.
dictators and things like
Oh,
that who are
yes.
trying to get to the treasure. They're really it's.
So do you think this is going to be the first good video game movie?
That's what we're hoping for. So the director is
Well,
let's
there's
see.
been good ones.
Yeah,
Tyler,
that's true.
Name one.
Okay.
Tomb Raider?
Well, Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider, okay.
Assassin's Creed.
I
No,
didn't like
I
it.
know that
know
was a
most
video
people
game.
didn't like that, but I thought it was kind of cool. There were a couple of things that were cool in it. Now the fact that they kind of like ran away from the entire story for that
Yeah.
was kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
But
I guess I didn't know those were both video games.
That's okay.
whoa, okay.
I mean, that's again like
That's
for
understandable.
yeah.
Though. I mean, like they do seem like they are somewhat original from even like the video game. Like they took some things from the video game basically to draw that crowd,
Right.
and then it's kind of like the screenwriters just sort of did whatever they wanted.
That's true.
So
I agree with that. And I would say, and Shannon's phone is going off over there. I don't know now. BBC. Or turn it off. Hey, don't you love it when we're live, guys? You don't know what's gonna happen. Anyways, the Travis Knight, who is one of my favorite directors, he produced all of Lakey films. Kubo and the Two Strings, Coraline. Trying to think more.
Oh yeah. those
Box
are awesome.
Trolls.
Box Trolls.
He did all of those.
What was
He
the
did-
under-
Trolls, I didn't.
The one that was
Box
like
Trolls.
Coco, Day of the Dead.
No, the Coco is Pixar.
No,
It was
Day of
Pixar.
the Dead was made first before Coco.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I never saw it.
Made
I
by
heard.
the same company.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
really did like that one. That one was way
Yeah.
better than Coco. I hate to say it, but it was. It
Oh
was.
wow, I liked Coco. I haven't seen the other one.
But it was better.
But Kubo and the Two Strings is easily one of my
It's a great
favorite movies. I would say it's a movie that
Why
I
does
could.
he have two strings?
Have you seen it?
No.
Then I can't tell
Spoilers.
you. You really should see that movie.
Wow.
That's how good it is. Kubo and the Strings. Oh my God, Kubo and the Strings was so good.
Mm-hmm.
And when he left animation, I was actually very hesitant because I was like, no, stick to animation because you're so good at it. But then he did one of the best Transformers movies I have ever seen.
What?
Not
Is it
Bumblebee
good
was
Bumblebee.
amazing.
Oh, Bumblebee.
That
Yeah,
was
the only good
fantastic.
one in my opinion.
I mean, I
I
like the
love
first one,
Bumblebee.
but yeah,
Yeah.
Bumblebee
Yeah,
is
that one
phenomenal.
really-
By far the best.
He got Transformers right. That I
Yes,
still have
he did.
goosebumps about that opening on the planet. Have you seen Bumblebee?
Oh yeah.
You know the opening with the planet of the
Oh yeah.
and then they're all fighting each other and it's like a
Yeah.
planet of like, oh my gosh, that
felt
opening.
that felt like the kids' cartoon from the 80s.
Yeah. and
None of the Michael Bay ones did.
No, not at all. And I would say that Bumblebee's that opening pretty much locked in my childhood of like 80s Transformers cartoon TV shows in that opening. And like the rest of the movie was amazing too, but if all I had were the first 10 minutes of just that opening, I would have been completely satisfied. But yeah, he is doing Uncharted and his record right now stands he's never made a bad movie. He has never made a bad movie.
Wow,
Kubo and
the
that's
Two
a little
Strings,
bit of pressure there.
Bumblebee, Coraline. I love Coraline. Very
that was a
underrated.
great movie.
That's his first
I
movie.
read that book. Yeah, I read the book and saw the movie. It was
Oh,
a
yeah.
good adaptation.
That's like if you didn't see the movie, oh please see the
Yeah.
No, it was a great adaptation.
Yeah. So Tom Holland, I mean, like, yeah, Spider-Man, great news. But me and George are more excited for Uncharted, unless somehow, Travis Knight somehow messes up for the first time, makes a terrible movie. I don't see that happening. He's too good of a writer director at this point, where I completely fully trust him. So we'll talk about that as more news comes out of Uncharted and more Spider-Man. But it's good to hear that Spider-Man's back at Disney.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
excited.
It's also good to hear Tom Holland has another franchise to work on when Spider-Man gets done.
Did you guys hear that he might do the live-action version of Atlantic? Disney.
No,
Atlantis?
that was a fan poster.
That
It's
was
not
a
real.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because no, they said
they didn't
it
know.
started off as a fan thing, but then I saw that Disney might actually do it.
They might do it, but since it's not green lit and there's no official news out of it,
Okay.
I'm gonna stick to it being like a fantasy.
They are doing Treasure Planet though.
Why?
Really?
That's a lot of people's favorite movie, Treasure
I-
Planet.
No, I
enjoyed
love
that movie,
Treasure
yes.
Planet, but I would.
How can they beat the cartoon? in
That's
live
what I'm
action?
saying.
Like there was so much that like you can't.
There's
I don't know,
they've
you
done
can do
things-
anything
I guess
now
we'll
with
see.
CGI.
You know what?
Yeah. They
The only-
actually have a chance to do it now. I think.
I'll be honest. The only live action Disney movies I didn't like, and I just watched it recently. Finally got a chance to see Dumbo. Oh my god!
Oh, it was awful.
What a snooze fest!
It was so boring and depressing and sad, and there was no joy in it.
It was just, yeah. Anyways, we're not going to talk more about that. But, you know, I didn't like Lion King that much. I didn't like
Yeah,
Dumbo
me
that
neither.
much. I didn't like Beauty and the Beast that much.
It was all right, but yeah, it wasn't as good as the cartoon.
Some movies should just
Yeah.
be left alone. And I'm thinking Treasure Planet can't be topped. I don't see anybody either making it as good of a movie that Treasure Planet was or better.
Yeah.
Just
probably
like
not.
Lion King or Beauty and the Beast.
No,
I
the
think they
only
could do
way
something-
that they could, I think, is if they actually include more story into it. Because I know there was a lot of, like, the interactions between, like, the main character who was that one kid, I forgot his name, and the cook. Like, the
yeah,
interactions
right.
between them, it
How are
seemed
you going
like
to
there
top
was,
that?
it seemed like there was something missing.
No.
They could beat the cartoon if they actually somehow get that chemistry right. It was close. It was real close. But
Yeah,
something
that's
was
true.
just missing a little bit. So if they get that right on this one, they could actually top the cartoon, I think.
And Tom Holland would be great in that role.
I don't know. He's already got so many movies on his plate.
Yeah,
They're
like
not even gonna-
he's set for 10
It's
years.
fine. He doesn't need to sleep.
No,
and
he's coming out with Robert
we
Downey
just
Jr.
saw Judy Garland. We know how this works.
Yeah, exactly. Just pop
Don't
some pills.
overstress the stars.
That's true. I mean, right now he's working on a 3-picture deal. Tom Holland. All right, check out the schedule. Tom Holland has a 3-movie deal with Robert Downey Jr. They're redoing.
What?
He's doing Doctor Dolittle. Robert Downey
That's
Jr.
right.
is Doctor Dolittle. Chris Pratt is in it as one of the animals. Tom Holland is in it.
He's
as,
one of the animals?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're all voice actors, but he's gonna have a huge
Oh,
part.
it's an animated
Because-
one. Okay.
You've seen Dr. Dolittle,
it's
right?
live action.
Yeah.
It's live action.
It's live action.
It's live action.
It's like the last Dr. Dolittle.
So
Yeah.
they're going to have a CGI animal that Chris Pratt is going to voice?
Most
Yeah,
likely,
Chris Pratt
yeah.
and Tom Holland.
Okay, gotcha.
And then
I mean,
we have.
they looked at the Lion King. They're like, well, we got the CGI for animals down now.
Right.
We can actually make.
Right.
like-
Yeah, that's actually
and
going to be pretty cool.
And Tom Holland's gonna be in with Chris Pratt with Onward, Pixar's Onward. And they're probably setting up 2 more movies for Onward. They
Oh,
said
yeah, Onward, yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's that?
Pixar,
the
new
fantasy
movie.
Pixar. It's in real time. Did you see the trailer for Onward?
No.
Oh gosh,
I haven't
you
seen
should.
that
You
yet.
should. We'll show them the
All right.
trailer later.
I'm
I
so
just.
excited. Original Pixar movies are the best.
So Tom Holland's good. You know, that's what I was trying to get at. Yes, they are.
Yes,
very
they
good.
are.
But we're gonna show. Where am I pointing to you? Oh, because it's always flipped in my head. We're gonna show you the Onward trailer. But speaking of trailers, our next story is JoJo the Rabbit. Comes out October 18th from the director of Taika Waititi. I can't always get his name wrong. He did one of my favorite movies that I'm blanking on right now. Where the Wildebeests. If you've never
Where
seen
the
it.
wild things are.
No. We're it's Anyways, that's not the point. He did Thor 4. He did Thor 3. He's doing Thor 4. So he did Thor 3, and now he's coming out with JoJo the Rabbit, which is a story of these kids who are in like Hitler Boy
40s
Scouts.
Nazi
Hitler Youth.
Yeah,
Germany.
and
Hitler Youth.
yeah, and it's a story of this kid who has an imaginary name friend. His imaginary friend is Hitler. I know. You don't think, like, just imagine that. You'd be like, that's not gonna work. Go start over. But it's Taika Waititi, and he is so original. He makes everything looks good. So even when they announced it, I was like, I don't know about this.
This looks very interesting, and the dynamics of how to make this movie without hurting feelings and offending everyone is really interesting, and I think...
Oh, shoot, hurt everybody's feelings. I don't care.
Right, I agree with that, actually. But
It's
as
a
far
movie.
as making movie... But for the purposes of making money, you have to do this carefully, and I
Yeah.
think
They
we've
make
gotten...
fantastic
The
films,
last,
yeah.
like, 5 to 10 years, we've had this culture where you can't have any satire because if you say anything sarcastic, it hurts everyone's feelings and everyone gets pissed off. But everybody is okay with mocking Hitler all the time. Nobody will fight you on that one.
I mean, people are going to be upset that they're making Hitler into a good guy, even though he's an imaginary. But who cares? It's a movie.
I don't think they're going to make it into a good guy. Because it's not actually Hitler. It's just this kid's imagination.
Right.
No, but the movie is going to mock Hitler. Like, it's a satire about Nazi Germany.
It's really not a good time to be a Nazi. That's my favorite.
So that's just from the trailer. So
burn the house down and blame Winston Churchill.
So I think this is going to be great. I think it's going to be like a callback to our old, what's that guy's name that did all the
Airplane?
like Saddle and Airplane,
Blazing Saddles, Airplane.
Mel Brooks. I think this is going to be like a Mel Brooks satire comedy that also has really interesting social commentary.
Yeah.
The kid is a little boy. He's like 7 years old. He joins the Hitler Youth, and he then finds a Jewish girl in his attic. That's in the trailer. It's not a spoiler. He finds that there's a Jewish girl that his mother is hiding in the attic. Yeah. And but he wants to be a Nazi.
And
because
Scarlett Johansson's in it as the mom.
Yep.
And obviously by the end of the movie, this kid's gonna learn.
Who was the one woman that was from Pitch Perfect?
Oh yeah, it has Fat Amy.
Oh, she's in. Yeah, she has like a very small scene. She's not in it for very long. But she has a funny scene in the movie though. Yeah,
obviously, this kid is gonna learn by the end that he's not really a Nazi. But it's kind of like this movie could be seen as like Nazi sympathizing, because it's showing you the other side of if you had lived in Germany at this time in this culture and you were a kid and you didn't know any better, this is what would have happened to you.
Yeah.
So it's going to show a really nuanced side of the war and the whole conflict with the Jews and Hitler that we don't see very often, because we always turn it into just black and white, good and bad.
Yeah.
And we don't often look at what was it like to be that person in that time in that culture. We don't see that very often.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you guys should definitely check out the trailer for JoJo the Rabbit, and we'll definitely be seeing it. It comes out October 18th. I'll unfortunately be in North Carolina at the time, but if George and Shannon see it, what I could do is...
Oh yeah, I want to see it for sure.
Maybe I could see it in North Carolina, because we're going to have a day off, my wife and I, so we might be able to see it down there, possibly. And then you two could record one, and then I could do a recording with my wife.
You can Skype in, and we can
Skype in or something, yeah. Is Skype even a thing still?
That's not.
Okay. But yeah, we'll definitely be seeing it. You know what I'm really sad about, and the next news information is Gemini Man is not getting good reviews.
Really?
And I'm really sad.
How can it? It's a Will Smith movie.
Yeah, they said it's
Will Smiths.
They said the first 10 minutes and the last 10 minutes are exciting, but like an hour and a half are just really boring. But I'm still gonna see it because I'm excited.
Well, they did get everybody pumped up by the trailer. I mean, like, that's probably the most action-packed trailer that's been in theaters this entire year.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And the de-aging is kind of a new thing.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Definitely something to look forward to or about. But, you know, we'll still check it out. Absolutely. November's going to be really packed, so we got so many movies. Gosh, we got Frozen 2, just saw the new trailer.
So excited.
It looks good. We got Knives Out, which
that looks good.
Knives Out looks amazing.
I can't wait to see
I'm
Cats.
skipping Cats. I know.
I'll go see Cats.
I might skip that one too.
It's all you.
You don't want to see Cats?
Absolutely not. That looks horrendous. I saw the trailer and I'm like, no.
I'm a big musical.
No, I am too. It's just creepy.
It's creepy.
It's very.
I think after 5 minutes you would forget and you would just focus on the story.
I hope so. I mean, again, I'm not going to judge yet from the trailer. I'm going to say a hard pass, but the reviews could come in and people like, you have to see this. And if that's the case, I'll definitely check it out. We got Star Wars coming out. We're going to do, we're going to watch the first 2 Star Wars movies that Shannon hasn't seen. Force Awakens and The Last Jedi with Shannon.
Okay.
You'll actually like it.
You.
I've tried to sit down and watch those and I fell asleep.
How's that even possible?
Because I'm like 6 movies behind at this point. I'm like completely lost. I haven't seen the Star Wars movies since I was a kid.
That's okay. Anyways, we're gonna you'll have to watch it so we can review it. Unfortunately, you sat through Avengers. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean I like Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's just been so long I'm lost on the plot.
I mean, that's why the new movies are so good, is because they don't really do anything with the old movies. They're doing a whole new series. You can literally a little bit, but
Okay,
like
this
No, you
last
need to
one
know.
is like completely based off the original series.
no, it is.
So,
but if you were,
excited
I
about
have
that.
heard kids never seen the old movies, but when they saw the new series, they weren't lost. Like the movie
That's true.
has 3 new characters
Well,
as
it
far
makes
as
you
their
it makes you
story.
want to watch the
It
old
it
one.
talks about the old movies, but the plot isn't about them. It's about who's the bad guy, Kylo Ren and his army, and like what's going on with him. So it's like very focused on what it's trying to show you. Yes, it talks about the old movies, but it doesn't deal in depth, like plot wise, to the old movies. That's the best thing about these movies. So we'll be seeing that, and so our first review we're gonna do. George didn't get a chance to see it, but me and Shannon both got a chance to see it. Abominable. Oh my gosh, guys! I
Yes!
loved
Wow!
this movie. I was glued to the screen. I loved the setting, China, about this girl.
Yeah.
Very emotional. Not like fake emotional. It just works on the
It
screen.
worked. It really worked.
I totally bought it, and I think I'm so glad DreamWorks exists, because there aren't many animated studios out there that can really compete with the Disney Pixar these days.
Not really.
And DreamWorks has How to Train Your Dragon, Kung Fu Panda, Shrek.
Yeah.
They're no joke. Like when
They make some bad movies, but when they
But
make
so
a
does
good
Disney.
movie, they make a
Yeah.
sure.
But like DreamWorks has more good movies under their belt. The Kung Fu Panda trilogy, great.
Yeah.
How to Train Your Dragon trilogy, great. Shrek 1, 2, and 4, great. 3, I'll never watch it again.
No.
And they've made other. I'm trying to think. What else has the DreamWorks
Oh
made?
man, Prince of Egypt, one of the greatest movies of
Yes,
all time.
Prince of Egypt, of course.
Yeah, one of the best.
Road
movies
to
ever
El Dorado.
made.
I love Road to El
Is that
Dorado.
DreamWorks?
Actually,
I
yes, that is
think it
DreamWorks.
is.
Okay, it is. Okay.
And I'm actually going to dress up as Miguel for Halloween.
Yeah, nice.
So we'll see how that goes.
But yeah, this movie really surprised me. The animation is.
It was shocking. I thought I was gonna
Stunning.
hate this movie. I'm
Um,
very picky when it comes to kids movies. I have very high standards, and this one was like an 8 out of 10. It was.
9 out of 10 for
good.
me.
Yeah.
I was completely.
The two.
I was glued to the screen.
Yeah, I
the
was too.
entire time. I loved the. There were huge, I'm not gonna spoil it, but there were a lot of twists that came in the movie that I actually did not see coming. Even though it was kind of obvious on the screen, I still.
Yeah, it was a
Didn't see
bit
it coming.
predictable, but it is a kids movie. There were parts of this movie that legitimately felt like live action, where you forgot that you were watching an animated movie.
Yeah.
100%.
And I loved. I don't know what else to say. The music's great. The cinematography is great. The animation is wonderful.
This was
It
a
is
mature film. It didn't make a lot of dumb kid jokes. It actually had like real emotions and real plot points.
Yeah, and satisfying ending to the T.
Yeah.
I would say take your kids. It's one of those movies that parents will enjoy.
You will.
I sat through it, really shocked on how much I liked it. It's a movie I'll probably see again.
There were a couple of breathtaking shots, and they weren't even shots. They were animated.
With
Like,
the flowers?
There
The
was
flower
the
scene with
flower
the-
scenes. Anytime they showed the skyline or the moon.
Oh, yeah.
There was a couple of times you just went, "Wow, I feel like I'm really there." Like
Oh, yeah, it wraps you.
better than the Lion King, where the Lion King
Oh,
had some
100%.
beautiful shots of like the sunrise and stuff. This was way better.
Way better.
Way better.
Yeah, definitely way better than Lion King. I think, the new live action Lion King the animated Lion King is definitely better than this movie, but the live action Lion King is not as good as this movie.
The live action Lion King should have been more like this movie. It should have had more color, more beautiful, breathtaking shots of nature instead of just being like a kind of a dry desert.
Yeah, that's true. And I think I'm now, whenever I see the DreamWorks logo, I actually didn't see the trailer for this. I kind of walked in blind without even seeing a trailer for this, and I was really
I didn't.
There's
see a
another
trailer
movie that
either.
came out. I thought that's what this was. The Yeti
There
one.
have been 4 Yeti movies this year.
Oh.
4.
Is that why?
4 animated. There was Smallfoot.
That's the one I thought I was walking into.
There
So
was-
I was like, I don't.
Smallfoot
Yeah.
was actually kind of funny.
Okay.
Okay.
There was Yeti. There
With
was
Hugh Jackman?
Abominable, and then there was some other one.
Which one was the
Missing
one?
Link, right?
Missing Link is the one with Hugh
Missing
Jackman,
Link.
right?
I think
That's
so.
what I thought this movie was when I went to go see it. I thought it was that movie,
Oh.
and then I was sitting in this movie going like, "Where's Hugh Jackman?" And then I realized this is another movie, but I'm okay with it because this is way
This
better.
Is way better. Okay, so there was a scene where they're surfing on flowers. That was just like so mind blowing.
I was like, my mouth was like,
yeah, and then there.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not a spoiler. There are 2 or 3 sequences in this movie where the main character has a violin and she's playing music. And they were showstoppers.
yeah.
Like, showstoppers.
Every single time that scene came out with her with the violin,
Anytime
it was-
she pulled that
any
violin
of the kids
out,
were like in the jollering, but when she was on the violin, the whole theater
the whole theater was
got silent.
Yeah,
It was like glued to the screen.
it was great.
It was phenomenal, and I again, I'm not saying this is better than Toy Story 4 or it's gonna be better than Frozen 2, but please go out of your way to see this movie.
Yeah,
it is
go
go
so
give it some
good.
money.
My question was, did it rival Kubo and the Two Strings?
Easily.
Really,
I mean, not easily. They're both really good. I mean, this movie was
it was good.
maybe because I never saw the trailer and I didn't know what I was watching.
Yeah.
So I was
I
just
could-
like, did you see Abominable?
The trailer was
Yeah.
like, it looked like it was going to be another dumb kids movie where they make butt
Okay.
jokes.
Okay.
Like, oh, there's blueberries in places where blueberries shouldn't be. And you're like, great, it's going to be one of those movies.
Okay.
But no, it wasn't. There was very little, like, lowbrow humor in this. It was mostly smart jokes
Yeah.
and really emotional scenes and beautiful, beautiful animation.
Yeah.
Some of the best animation I have ever seen. I couldn't stop staring at his face. Like, the fur on his face looked so
Oh,
real.
the Abominable.
Felt like I could touch it.
Yeah.
They're
that's
gonna
true.
sell the crap out of Abominable toys.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say final review: go see it in theaters. It's worth your money.
Mm-hmm. It's worth your money.
Yeah. And George, will you be able to see it? You think?
Oh, I want to.
You want it?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's our review from Abominable. We're gonna move on to our Joker spoiler review at this time. A lot to talk about.
Ooh, boy.
We do have a non-spoiler review, so if you go down below the link on our YouTube channel or on our website GeekdomMovies.com, we do have a non-spoiler review, and you can definitely check that out. I'll leave the link below. But if you haven't seen the movie, or if you really want to see the movie and you haven't had time, just skip this part and come check out next week when we go see what's coming out next week.
Let's see.
Zombieland 2?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's in 2 weeks,
Zombie
That's in
Land.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. What's
we
coming out next
have
week?
Gemini Man.
Gemini
and
Man.
We have shucks. Hang on, let me look at my list that you got here.
Isn't Cats coming out soon?
That's December, Christmas
yeah,
actually.
Oh.
That's
What
that's
about
over.
Current War? When does Current War come out?
Nobody knows.
Current
Ford
War was
versus Ferrari.
supposed
Isn't that
to-
this week?
Come out earlier.
Ford versus Ferrari.
Oh, Terminator.
No, Terminator. Well, I don't know if Terminator is, but I
Pass.
know we're supposed. Let's see, we got Adam's Family,
Can't pass on
Oh.
Terminator.
Adam's Family.
and yeah, I'm not sure. I don't. See
I
Terminator.
did you? What's a movie that all three of us are gonna go see that week?
Gemini Man.
Gemini Man.
Yeah. for
So
sure.
we'll all see Gemini Man. We got to see the big movies. You have to see Terminator.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately.
Okay. All right.
I know you probably won't like it, but it's for the
I
channel.
haven't seen the
It's
original.
you think it's for the
You just
children?
need to. No, it's for the channel.
Sorry.
It's for the children. The children need Shannon to go see Terminator. No, it's for the channel.
That's so funny.
No, you should just watch Terminator 2. It's the best movie ever.
Better than one.
So yeah, Adam's Family, and Gemini Man.
Oh
This-
God, Terminator 2 is one of the greatest. Think
Can I
Back to the
watch
Future
it?
level. That's how good it is.
But can I watch it without seeing the first one?
Absolutely. I've never seen the first one because it's stupid.
Okay.
It's the same story, but way better.
So
Okay.
it appears that the current war is coming out with Director's Cut opening October 25th. Now, Terminator is not coming out till November 1st.
Okay, so it is coming out soon.
Now, one movie that I did see in the trailers that I really want to watch is Black and Blue. That one's
I
opening
have
October
not even
25th.
heard of that one.
That one looks.
When does The Lighthouse come out? That's the one I want
Sounds
to
like
see.
somebody getting
With Robert
beat up.
Pattinson, the Toilet Boy. No, I can't call
The
him that. He's
Toilet
actually-
Boy.
The Twilight, but he is the Toilet Boy. in that, too. When does The Lighthouse come out?
I don't know.
It's okay. We don't need to.
So let's get into our Joker review.
Yeah, so Joker review. Look forward to those. Coming weeks. I'll put the links below for the future movies.
Oh, and of course, Parasite.
I actually just saw that. I got lucky and I got an early screening. You're gonna love that movie.
You got a
Really?
screen
You're gonna love it.
Parasite?
Yeah.
Is it a
How
horror
did you
movie?
get a?
My
No,
friend
I
had a
never heard
ticket
of it.
and invited me, and then
That
I
is
went.
awesome.
No, it
yes,
is. You're gonna
really,
love.
It's great.
You're gonna. Actually, everyone in this room would love that movie. Yes, it is thriller horror, but in such a. You guys have to see it. I can't even talk about it without giving away like how good that movie is.
Okay.
But
That's
yeah,
weird.
we're gonna do Joker review. Okay, so like I said, this is a spoiler review. Oh my gosh, so much to talk about. Okay, one thing out of the gate that I always say, this is my second time watching this movie, so I went twice. People walk out during this movie
Mm-hmm.
because it is intense.
Don't take your kids.
No,
Don't
I
take
mean
anyone
adults
under
were walking out of
20.
this movie.
I-
Adults.
Wait, Joker.
Yeah, it was an uncomfortable sit. It was uncomfortable and it was tense and it was depressing.
I mean, the movie's called Joker. The Joker is one of the most villainous, most psychotic
No, he's not.
characters.
He's the
Oh
Joker.
yeah, he is. No,
he's
you
like,
watch
he's
Heath
a
Ledger's.
clown. He's funny. He's
If-
supposed to be
Nope.
silly Batman villain.
No.
Not
he
since the
is-
80s. He has
Well,
been a
yeah.
straight up killer since
Yes.
the 80s.
I don't know
Straight
if
up.
that people
And-
were thinking this was going to be Heath Ledger.
He's
I mean,
Also-
if you watch the trailer for Joker and
He's
you
like-
thought this was going to be kidsy, there's something wrong with you.
There's something
he's,
wrong with
He's
you.
like the I forgot what was that? What was that one movie about recently? The Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It was based off of that one
The
guy.
Manson family murders?
Yes. It basically the
Oh,
Joker is
yeah.
like the superhero version of Charles Manson.
Right.
He's a great manipulator.
Yeah.
Okay, he can manipulate anybody. He
Yeah.
does it all the time with Batman.
Yeah.
It's like his, greatest adversary or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, the Joker is extremely psychotic. I'd have to say
Yeah.
very
No, I
very
agree.
wild.
I think the thing about this is Joaquin Phoenix, watching it twice and you
Killed it.
seeing all the little things that kind of there's a gradual moment in this movie that goes from
Mhm.
like you're rooting for him, you feel bad for him to like, okay, this is too far.
Yeah,
but then
it's crossing
you
the line.
but you
Right.
also see the revelations with his mom and what she did to him.
This
and-
is like the story arc of Walter White in Breaking Bad condensed into 2 hours.
that's such a good example.
Yes.
I've never thought about that, but that literally is exactly what it is. It is watching Walter White slowly become mobster killer that you don't see because you don't expect.
I
You
am
just
the knight. I am the one who knocks. That's what it felt like.
right.
Breaking Bad was a lot more fun to watch.
Right,
They
right.
had some comic relief and stuff in Breaking Bad, but yeah, this is like watching Walter White go from chemistry teacher to horrible person in the span of 2 hours, and there's not a single lighthearted joke in this movie. The
No,
whole
there's
thing is-
jokes. I
There's
laughed
jokes,
a lot.
but they are very dark.
You guys were laughing
They
at
are
parts that
very
I was
dark
not
jokes.
laughing
But they're
at.
very, very dark jokes.
One of the
It's
jokes-
true.
the
it's
second-
like completely.
The second time I saw it, when he
I didn't think anything in this movie was funny.
the second time I saw it, people laughed at the part where like he runs into the exit door at the hospital.
Oh yeah,
Just
that was
slams-
hilarious.
Oh,
he's
I
like-
remember
no,
he's
I
that.
doing
felt
this.
so bad for him. I didn't think that was funny at all.
And it's yeah. And
Yeah, I
I can't disagree with you, but people did laugh a lot at that
Yeah,
scene.
they laughed at it.
And
That's
then
the
the
thing
other
about that
other
is-
But
scene
it wasn't a
was when
funny joke. It
the
was just being uncomfortable.
and the little guy trying to get to the door, but the doorknob is locked, and he's
that
like,
wasn't funny.
That
was
terrible.
hilarious.
No, it wasn't. That was terrifying
That was-
because
that
he
was-
had a murderer in the room with him who was about to kill him.
No,
I
I
did not laugh. I
Oh
thought
my
that
gosh,
was
that was
horrifying.
a funny scene.
Yeah.
That was a funny scene, but yeah, at the same
I
time,
didn't
I'm
think
like,
it was
oh my
funny.
gosh, if I was him, I would probably have just literally ran
Maybe-
and jumped out the window because I
It's-
would be so freaked out at that point.
Yeah, no, that's
I would
true.
I would not have had the courage to ask him to open the door for me. That was scary.
Yeah.
That would have been so scary.
But see, even the things that they laughed at were still tense, uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, no,
They were
I
not, like-
extremely.
That's the
Yeah.
whole point
You're
of it, though.
uncomfortably laughing, even
Exactly.
though
Yeah.
Because
you're
this
not.
is something that, like,
Yeah.
it's really funny, but it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah, exactly. And I
everything-
didn't find it funny.
Literally everything in that movie that they made laugh worthy was something that shouldn't have been.
The
Like
part-
they made you
Which kind of
question why you're
mirrors the
laughing at
Joker's
it, and you're just like,
experience.
oh my goodness, why am I laughing at? Like, you felt bad for laughing
Oh,
during
yeah.
that movie.
And
it's incredible. They really did a great job of doing that.
I would add the part where he first gets introduced by Robert De Niro's character to like be on the show or whatever, and he comes out and he kisses that old lady. Like,
that was uncomfortable.
That was another one that was not funny,
It's
but it was like you don't know what else to do, so you just kind of laugh, which honestly is kind of genius for this movie because that's what the Joker does. He
makes you laugh
He laughs at inappropriate times.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're kind of putting you in
But
in his shoes. If
at
they did that
the-
on purpose, that was brilliant.
If that's the whole movie, then it would have been terrible. But the movie is so layered, so
Very deep.
It is.
so
Heavy.
Now,
I was glued to the screen about all the revelations about whether he is Bruce Wayne's brother, Thomas Wayne is his dad.
Yeah, they were like hinting that
Yeah.
it might be.
Yeah.
And then they said his mom was crazy, and you
But
don't
that
know
even-
if it's true or.
But then you find out like she was delusional. She adopted him and forgot about him.
right.
Thought she was actually like her son was Thomas Wayne, but at the same time she also believed like she sat by as her ex-boyfriend like abused him as a child, and and you're just like, and when he like kind of suffocates his mom, you're kind of like, well, what you
So-
did was
Full
horrible,
circle.
but
Yeah.
you're both like
yeah.
mentally ill, so it's a horrible situation.
The premise of this movie also is that society creates these horrible killers by ignoring and neglecting
Absolutely.
our people. And there's a lot of scenes in this movie where he's asking for help or he's trying to get help,
Right.
and he's just getting a no, or he's getting beat down, or
Right.
the government funding has been cut and now you can't get your medications anymore. And I don't know that that's necessarily a healthy message to preach. Yes, we should take care of our people. Absolutely, we should. There's no doubt about that. But I could see somebody walking into this movie who's already in this horrible mental state of mind, and instead of taking responsibility for their actions, saying it's everyone else's fault in society that I'm this way, so I might as well just go and shoot up a school or whatever.
I mean, that is
Well-
their excuse to shoot up a school, actually.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
and
it
there
has
is going to
been in
be
the
Yeah.
But I think
a
what
balance.
they did great in this movie is they separated you from him.
Yeah.
So at the same time, you're seeing it from his perspective, but you're realizing just how bad that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they make sure you know how bad each of these actions is that he's doing, whether he intentionally does them or not.
Right.
And so I
Yeah.
think that's really what was groundbreaking in this film. That even if they had a Heath Ledger film, it wouldn't have been like this. And this is
No.
what was really phenomenal, was that they were able to show you, okay, yes, he's like an amazing villain, but at the same time he's a villain. And like
Yeah.
this is wrong. He's not doing this because he's doing it on purpose. He's doing this because he's absolutely nuts. And so like you kind of get to more of an understanding as to, wow, that's just not right.
What also plays a lot into that is that 80s setting. The city is in trouble. A lot of people, the garbage is filling up. People are suffering. The violence is going up. On top of and his only source for help gets shut down, which is the lady that he's seeing in the
which he says wasn't
medication.
even doing anything anyway, wasn't
Right.
helping anyway.
It probably was helping. I think it was
Right.
keeping him from like really losing it. And I think again, the situation is so bad, and like even though it's not a good scene to watch, but those guys in the subway who got shot, like they were probably gonna do something horrible to that lady. And
right,
like
and
If
the first time
if
he
you-
kills is totally justified in
Well-
my mind.
Well, here's the thing, though. Okay, so they brought up, I don't know if you remember, there was a case back, was it in the 80s, about a guy on the New York subway who actually did end up shooting and killing 4 guys.
okay.
Because he was attacked, alright? Now, this, obviously, they took quite a bit of that for the scene. Like, the city sympathized with him and everything. And then, suddenly, they realized that there might have been racial motives in that
Oh, wow.
regard.
Okay.
So this one they removed that from the film because
Okay.
obviously that would not be good.
Mhm.
But they kept like the same kind of setup, sort of, except in this case they, instead of being just like thugs that went after him,
Mhm.
they actually put more like
Rich white kids.
rich white kids,
Yeah.
yeah. And so someone. They took someone who was more so, instead of just being like a mobster, they took someone who was a bully.
Yeah.
And they put him in that same aspect.
I don't think those guys deserve to die. Should they have been taught a lesson? Yes.
Yes.
But I wouldn't say they should have been murdered.
We don't know what those guys were gonna do to them.
I know,
if
and
they
it's
went unchecked.
That's a what if scenario, and I'm not just gonna say
But for the sake of the movie, that you can kind of justify that first murder because you feel for this guy and what he's going through, and he's been beat up and torn down.
Yeah.
And then when he shoots up these guys who were, harassing a woman on the train and then harassing him on the train.
Oh wait, they did beat him up, didn't they? They almost beat him to the death.
They almost beat him to death.
Oh, I'm not
but
remembering
here's
that.
the problem,
You're
though, is
You're
that you end up seeing right after that. That's the scene where he rushes out of there. He runs into that bathroom, and then he just starts dancing. And that's when you realize he's really losing it. Like that was the breaking point for him. Was that point where he had to trigger something. Self-preservation was basically what he had to trigger at that point, and that just cracked him.
Right, and it just made him realize this is who he really is in the end. Because he even tells the guy at the mental hospital, "It's like, I've been trying to feel bad about what I did, and I just don't. I don't feel bad. I don't feel any guilt, any remorse." And he feels completely justified in killing his mom after that. He feels completely justified in killing the Robert De Niro's character, which is like the host show.
Which there was absolutely no reason, really, for him to do that. I mean, literally.
Again, the answer isn't murder if somebody makes fun of you. Yeah, bullying sucks, and people making... and he says this beautifully, like he goes up to Thomas Wayne in the bathroom, and he goes, why don't anybody care? My heart is actually breaking, and I want somebody, how about a hug, Dad? How about somebody that just tells me everything's gonna be okay? And Thomas Wayne just ends up punching him because he didn't understand, or maybe he does know he's mentally unstable like his mom, but doesn't care, but decides to punch him anyway and tell him to stay away from his son. He was asking for help.
He was asking for help, but he didn't know how to ask.
No, it's bigger than that. Not just help, but what happens to a character when nobody comes to the rescue and loves you?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do then? Where do you end up? And
then you also feel for Thomas Wayne because there's a psycho chasing after his kid.
Yeah.
What would you do in that situation?
He never hurt Bruce,
as well.
but he did go.
He did go and put his hands in his mouth.
Yeah.
I would consider that as hurting a kid.
That's
in my opinion.
It's weird.
So
it's
weird.
Yeah,
it's hard because you do, and again, this is the thing that people are not gonna like, and this is the thing that I'm reading online, political stuff, saying why would you make the Joker, make him sympathize with the killer? Are you saying all these gun violences and everything that's happening in America is it's okay because they're...
That's where it goes back and forth, and you have to find a balance because...
I would say that, there is personal... You have to take personal responsibility for your action no matter how horrible something gets.
Yeah.
Murder and killing is never the answer. So if you're getting bullied and then you bring a gun to the school or shoot up a shopping mall or... You hate immigrants,
that's on you. I don't care what happened in your life.
That
still wrong.
Right, and if you hate, you just have this fear of black people or Muslims or whatever, and then you shoot the mums and feel completely justified. No, you get no remorse for that. You don't get remorse for shooting anybody. You don't get remorse for school shooting or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And I think with the Joker, it's you see the personal journey of this character and you sympathize him enough. You have to get him to be the villain eventually, and he does become the villain. But what I'm saying at the same time is this movie is such a great social commentary where it's gonna get conversations. If this is a topic for you that is uncomfortable, if you can't sit through a movie like this, that's by all means. Not
Trigger
everybody.
warning,
That's.
It's not for you then.
It's not for you.
If you're suffering with mental health issues, I wouldn't go see this movie.
And even if you're not, and it's just uncomfortable,
right?
It's not for you.
But I'm saying if you have depression or anxiety really severely right now, would not go see this movie.
Yeah, I don't
think it would help you in any way.
I can't speak on that, but again, that's up to my best friend, who I grew up with, has a very severe mental disability. She's a bipolar and a lot of medication, and she came along with us to see this movie actually, and I was kind of worried for her during the movie, and then I asked her after the movie was she okay? And she's like, that's a really when he wrote down in his magazine, I'm not gonna tell you her name because she's a good friend of mine, but she says like if you read the journal, it says like everybody just expects you to act normal.
The worst part of having a mental illness is everyone expects you to act like you don't. He wrote that in his joke book.
And that's so real and
it
raw.
Is real, yeah.
Because that's what somebody with a mental disability, like, you just see them as an annoyance. Even I do. If I come across somebody who's mentally unstable, that's, let's say if I was sitting in a movie theater and they were being loud or obnoxious because they have a mental disability, I wouldn't be nice to them in my mind. I'd be like, they're annoying, shut up, like, why are you here? Or like if I was like shopping and I saw somebody screaming and yelling, like, that type of mental illness, like, there is no grace from that from strangers. And unfortunately this movie does a really good job of showing that.
You why you should have grace for those people, yeah.
Not just that, but it also shows you that people aren't going to be nice to you.
And there's a lot of...
And they're not going to try to understand you.
There's a couple points in this movie where just a little bit of kindness from a stranger or a friend or a bypasser would have made a huge difference in his life.
The scene
and he does not get it.
The scene that blows my mind, and I can't stop thinking about it, and it is so good.
I don't know what scene you're thinking of.
When you realize the girl is just an imagination. He never went on a date.
I kind of figured that it was.
I did not.
It was
mind-blowing.
No,
I did not see that coming at all.
I thought it was strange only at the point where she showed up in the hospital and she wasn't there on his way there. That was the part that really kind of, I was like, wait a minute, something's not right about this.
Right.
And so I didn't honestly know until that.
Well, I was like
right when you realize it nearly.
This lady is just starting a relationship with some complete stranger across the hall that she doesn't know, and her daughter's like, where's her daughter? Somebody has to be watching the kid. I was like, no, this doesn't add up. It doesn't add up at all. Yeah, no.
I just thought
being a single woman, I would not go date that guy. Like, he's creepy, dark guy. I wouldn't.
I thought she had a mental disability too, because of how she was acting throughout the movie. I thought
didn't get that.
Because like she saw the newspaper article where it says the clown kills them, and she goes, "Good, they deserved it." And I was like,
something's in his imagination.
So yeah, but for me it was like she's off too. Like she's like Harley Quinn from like the Joker comics. They're both off.
I feel like
so I thought that's where it was kind of going, where she's.
Oh, you thought she was going to be Harley Quinn?
No. I just thought she was off. Like something was mentally wrong with her.
It did seem like, okay, well at least it at least seemed like she might have been someone who was dealing with like depression or something.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I thought it was like, wow, this is another person with mental illness of sorts.
Because she's like this apartment.
The only scenes in this movie where he had any sort of social sensibility was when he was talking to that girl. And it didn't mesh with the rest of the movie where he was socially awkward and didn't really know how to talk to people.
But that's the thing. Like, you thought she was also not normal, so you were kind of like...
I didn't get that. She seemed like a totally normal, rational person to me, but that's just me.
Only because she was with him, so I just thought there was something off about her, too. That's where I thought there was
okay. Yeah, I kind of kept thinking that didn't make sense, and then when it showed her disappear... And when he walks into her apartment and like sits down on the chair and says, "I had a bad day," and she goes, "I really need you to leave."
Is your mother home?
Aren't you that guy from down the hall?
Right.
Then you go, "Whoa."
Do you want me to call your mom? She wasn't there. She wasn't at the hospital. She has no idea.
She was actually trying to help. Like, I guess she was the only one in the whole movie that did try to help. But not really.
Not really, because there was no interaction. It was all in his head.
She was scared of him.
Yeah. And I think like he just realized it. From his laugh, and I think it's really brilliant what they did with his laugh. His laugh was a disability that happened to him.
Yeah, that was genius. That was like the only way to explain the laugh.
That should be added to the comics from now on,
Absolutely.
Because it is so well. You're like,
good.
What if the Joker just has a laugh that's just creepy, but it's like a
stress relief.
Like it's something
not
that
a good one, but
and
like,
Batman villains are just psychotic anyway, so it's like okay, why not? And I think that again, like he's when he finally gets on the show, or right when he kills that guy in his apartment, and he's completely Joker at that point. Last thing to talk about, like what a crazy scene where all the people are wearing the clown mask, and then one of the guys with the clown mask kills the Wayne family, like the parents.
That was wonderful.
And
that
like
was
how they went to the hallway and attached
Oh.
to the comics. I was like really brilliantly well done. And like now you have it's so beautiful because the second time I saw it, I didn't even realize it. But when he gets like when the guys drag Joaquin Phoenix Joker Arthur out of the car and he stands up and he takes and puts on a smile and then all
puts
the clowns
blood
are on
all
him.
over his-
But then it shoots right next to like Wayne family and like both the parents are dead and there's like Bruce Wayne just like in the alley like both just side by side at the same
You
exact
go,
time.
oh, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're never gonna
No.
see a sequel with that. But
They're
yeah, it
trying
is
to
cool.
show
True. That's true.
No,
but that
Joaquin-
was really cool how basically like they had what was it? The one strange thing about that. Okay, I thought I had seen something real similar to that for Gotham, the TV series.
I've never seen it, so I can't.
Okay, that would make
So,
sense.
but the one thing that was off,
Uh-huh.
I think, was the because like the pearls and everything, like the way they fell and all that. That was the one thing that made me really tie that back to
What do you mean the pearls?
back to Gotham. His mother's pearls.
That's in the comics, the original comic. That's how the pearls fall.
Well, yeah, but I meant like in Gotham they do the same thing.
What's with
Yeah.
the pearls? Her
Well,
necklace
yeah,
falls?
that's the original comic writers when the parents die,
Yeah.
he grabs the mom's pearls. He kills them for the pearls. That's the.
Oh, okay.
So
But
they
in this one,
re-
he didn't really kill them for the pearls. I think he just
It was.
Grabbed
for
Oh no,
the-
he grabbed him. Yeah.
oh.
well, yeah, he grabbed them, but he didn't take them.
No, he did.
No, because they were laying on the ground.
Well, and they do that in the they did that with
That's-
Ben Affleck's movie too, where they didn't actually take the pearls either. But in the comics, what happens is
The whole
he
point of
grabs
this
the pearls.
protest was that they were protesting the rich white people for some
Exactly.
reason.
Which in this one they end up showing that he actually kills them for that reason, and this time he's not even stealing from them.
Yeah, that's.
He
yeah,
literally just kills them outright right there.
just because they're rich. and
Exactly.
white.
Well, there were clowns waiting for the Thomas family, and they were blaming Wayne family who don't
Oh,
understand.
absolutely.
And I thought that was very, very interesting what they did with that because that is a social commentary. There's more. I mean, people just don't trust corporate America today anymore, and the rich people who are white.
Absolutely.
I mean, they just don't. And unfortunately, that's just the case. They blame them for a lot of the issues in America today. So that social commentary onto this movie added to what's going on today in America is very fascinating to watch. I didn't think it was going to go that deep into social commentary. What's happening?
I liked how it ended with the whole cycle of good and evil. Like, all of this evil that the Joker inadvertently causes sparks something in Bruce and starts the cycle again where Bruce is going to become the good guy and the hero and
This-
level the playing field, and good and evil are constantly at war. And the last shot in this movie where Bruce is just staring up at the sky, I thought they should have just cut it off of there and not had
Well-
more of the Joker after.
Oh no, you have to have more of the Joker.
Yeah,
This is
to
his
have-
movie.
No,
So,
I wanted it to end
Here's
with
the
justice.
interesting
Yeah.
thing though. I
Here's
really
Bruce,
like that
here's
last
justice.
scene though. Why?
I
That's
can't
a
even remember
throwback.
what they did
So
to him.
basically, he's in a cell at Arkham.
Yeah, explain
Alright.
that to me. I was
Okay,
lost on
so
that.
here's what happened, right? So he was finally taken in.
Okay.
After that point, so currently at the end of that movie, the Joker is currently in Arkham.
Okay.
All right.
Oh yeah.
But what happens at the end of that movie is real close to what happens near the beginning of that movie, where he's talking to a counselor.
right.
This time, it's a different. Like they tried to make the counselor even sort of look a little bit more similar to the original
Yeah.
counselor,
Uh huh.
just because they wanted. I felt like they wanted to bring out the fact that he's back to square one, but much worse. So he comes out of that room with blood on his shoes.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so as in he just killed his new
dude,
counselor.
I didn't even catch that.
I saw
so
that.
that's
Yeah.
so that's what that was about.
Wow.
So
and then
he's
dancing
he is
and-
so broken at
Because
that
he
point.
related with
He-
her. Because the
yeah.
first counselor, she was like, "Well, Arthur, nobody gives they don't give a shit about
care
you,
about
but
you,
they don't care about me either."
Right.
So he was still able to relate to the counselor and other people
Interesting.
who are suffering. At the end of the movie, he doesn't relate to it.
He doesn't care
Anybody.
at all.
He doesn't care at all. Yeah, he's completely gone down the road of like Joker. And again,
It's very much more so
you
the Heath Ledger
couldn't-
Joker at that point.
yeah, and this movie could not have been made today because today that counselor would have had bodyguards all around her. she wouldn't just be alone. A lot of the things this
Absolutely.
movie did really well, like a lot of the things it got away with because of
It's
the
in the
80s,
late 70s or the early
70s, 80s New York
yeah.
setting during that time. And, you know, the 70s, 80s were the worst time for New York, probably the worst violent times besides like the 1800s in Harlem. And I thought that setting for Gotham to be the New York City of the 80s was pretty much perfect.
Yeah.
Because that's what was happening in New York at that time, and a lot of murders were happening, and people could get away with murder. A lot of murders weren't even caught by the police officers because it was just too big of a city, and they didn't have the technology or the investigation power to capture all the violence. So a lot of people are getting away with murder and things like that, and that really relates to. I mean, that's the only way to make the Joker movie today, would be to put in that setting. A Joker movie today with cameras and surveillance and phones.
We kind of got that in The Dark Knight.
Yeah, but in a different way. Because he's a military man. He's an advanced. You'll never see a Joker become the Joker in something like The Dark Knight. He has to come in as a full-blown supervillain terrorist at that point. Only then could we have like someone like Batman trying to capture like the Joker, but you know, for this movie to have an origin story, Heath Ledger's origins would never work in that type of a movie.
No.
Because you'd be like, how did he come to the point where he becomes the Joker? He would have been caught way too fast.
The only weird thing about this is by the time Bruce becomes Batman, the Joker's gonna be like 70 years old.
Well, that's the thing. They said they're not making a sequel, and the Batman movie with Robert Pattinson is not tied to this. So I did read that. And Joaquin Phoenix does not want to come back. This is his one big Joker movie.
They don't need anything after this.
No, they really don't.
The ending with Bruce staring up at the sky.
Yeah.
That's all you needed.
Yeah.
Cut it off. That was the end.
I think this is a one great like shot movie, like of just kind of like what if scenario, like what if this was the origin, and then just continue on with Batman after that, which is what they're planning on doing.
There was a good like 20 minutes in the middle of this film where he has just killed a bunch of people. It's completely unjustified. And he is supposed to be on TV, which is his dream. He's supposed to be on the show with his dream TV show host. And he's getting chased by the police, and he's running through the subway, and he's trying to get away, and he just committed these murders. And it was so conflicting because I know in my head that he's a bad person who murdered people and he needs to be caught by the police. But this whole movie, you've been rooting for him to get on this TV show because it's his dream, and you really want him to get there. But then you're also conflicted because you know he's this bad person.
And he's going to kill that guy.
Well, I didn't know he was going to kill that guy because that guy was his hero.
Well, that's the thing. It would have been a hero if it wasn't for...
What about the guy he shot on the subway?
He didn't shoot him.
No, he did.
No.
Did you notice? Oh, you guys didn't notice.
No. What do you mean?
Okay, so while he was being chased by the police, you remember how the guy was fighting with the police for his gun? Now, notice the police officer seemed really shocked his gun went off. It's because he wasn't aiming at the guy. He shot the guy that was fighting with the police. The Joker shot the guy who was fighting with the police so that the people turned on the police. That was one of his manipulative things.
Oh.
How did you learn that?
I didn't see
saw
that.
Really?
I saw that,
yeah.
at all.
Maybe I was too focused on the police getting attacked by the other clowns.
Because he shoots and then he's like he's like completely shocked.
I didn't catch that at all. Wow.
Yeah, so
interesting.
Yeah, he did not intend to shoot that guy.
Wow.
Huh.
That's really brilliant. No, I think you said you wanted him on the show when he was making fun of him.
Actually, that's why as soon as they beat up the police, and this is something I barely just remembered just now. As soon as they beat up the police and they pull him off the subway, he's right there, laughing at him.
The Joker is?
The Joker is. The Joker had just stepped off, and he waited for them to pull them off and keep beating them, and then he's just there like this, laughing.
With the mask on?
Did he takes the mask in the garbage?
The mask off at that point.
And then he threw it in the garbage.
Yeah, because there was nothing they could do to him at that point.
Yeah.
So that was a part where you're just like, whoa, he's gone full mental at this point.
I didn't understand the dancing in this movie. What was up
I
with
could
the
not
dancing?
stand the dancing.
No, I love the dancing because that dancing showed that how mentally unstable it is. It's a psychosis. A lot of mentally unstable person will move their body around and like do stuff with their body.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah, but they don't. They
I've
don't
seen
usually
that.
do dancing like that.
That's his very unique thing that he did. That was Joker, you know.
And the first time he dances is right after he kills the subway kids.
Because he's free. That's who he wants to be.
Interesting.
He wants to have no rules where he doesn't care that he's mentally unstable and he can just. The full form of the Joker is basically a full psychosis breakdown of that character in such a way where he is completely free and able to do horrendous, horrible things, you know, from, you know, how he created Harley Quinn to, like, how he was in Arkham Asylum with the other criminals and how he convinced one of his counselors who he abused, who eventually becomes Harley Quinn. She was a famous doctorate, like, counselor, but she could not break the Joker, like the Joker psychosis in the comics. If you ever read any, if you watched the 90s,
I don't know anything about it.
and did you ever see Suicide Squad?
No, I gotta watch that.
It's really good.
It is really good.
But
no,
like
Jared Leto.
I like Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie is
Margot
great.
Robbie does a great job.
I see. Here's the thing. Every Joker is a very interesting Joker. Even Jared Leto's Joker was a very interesting take on it, I enjoyed it.
It was.
I actually didn't mind
in a way,
it.
it was kind of different because like he was more so like if you imagine the Joker as being a mobster, yes, very much so, and not like mobster. I'm talking like nowadays druggy, you know, like just completely off the walls kind of guy.
That's why he
was like Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's exactly who he would be.
That's kind of like what you sort of see.
Yeah. And I can separate Heath Ledger because he's a military, very intelligent, like, terrorist who was probably ex-CIA, ex-like spy who went like crazy and then became a terrorist. Mm-hmm. Jared Leto's is very much like a mobster. Jack Nicholson is also another, like, a comedian who fell into, you know, like a cartoon version of him where he fell into like the chemicals. But so did Jared Leto's. He fell into the chemicals too, and then he threw Harley Quinn into the chemicals as well.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So him and Jack Nicholson are actually more closer in that sense, at least. And, you know, Joaquin Phoenix is just a complete mental breakdown of a character that goes full psychosis, like mentally ill. All of these characters are... The Joker is just a very fascinating stud. It's probably the most interesting, like, villain in any story besides maybe Darth Vader or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
I would say he probably beats Darth Vader.
Oh, yeah. No,
it's Walter White. It's the anti-hero.
Right. Okay, we've been talking for a little bit way too long, but I hope you enjoyed our talk. We kind of talked about everything that is the Joker. I mean, we talked for half an hour straight, guys. So we must have really had a lot to say on the Joker movie, and I'm sure you do too.
You can't see this one and not talk about
it.
Yeah.
That's and I'm sure you all have a lot to say.
It might not be healthy to not talk about it.
That laugh, when he laughs, and like when he's walking in the hallway, he's like, ha ha ha, and then just stops.
Yep.
And then keeps walking. Oh my god, every time he did that, there was like a part of me that was, or like when he was sitting in the club, like, and he's laughing at the guy who's telling the jokes, everybody's laughing, but he doesn't laugh. But he laughs at the wrong time of it, the wrong time, and he just goes, ah, 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 like really out loud, like, you know, out of his lungs. Oh, what a... I want that to be the official laugh for the Joker from this point on.
Yeah, it was good.
But anyways, I know you guys probably have a lot to share. Leave your comments below. Leave questions below. If you do, we'll definitely answer them and let you know that we read them and you listened to us for talk for an hour straight, half an hour about Joker. And we'll see you next time. We'll go see Gemini Man. I'm not going to be here for another week because I'm going on vacation. But when I get back, we'll do Gemini Man. We'll do... Will you go see Addams Family, you said?
Yeah, if you want me to.
Would you want to see that movie?
Well, not in particular, but...
I'm trying to think.
It's going to be a good one. Okay, then they had like that teaser trailer, and just like Terminator, they had a horrible teaser trailer. And then they came out with a better trailer.
Oh, really?
And after I saw that second trailer, I'm like, yeah, it's worth it.
Is JoJo Rabbit out this week?
No.
August...
not August.
Sorry, October.
Wow.
I know,
Halloween's 16? Coming up.
Actually, you know what? I just realized.
So, yeah,
the last week before the next video we will do a Halloween episode. What's our top 3 favorite Halloween movies?
Oh gosh, I don't even know if I have.
Oh, in chapter 2.
That's your number one?
I don't know.
Yeah, don't talk about it now. No, don't say it. Don't say it. We're gonna do a top 3 favorite like horror Halloween movies. I have my favorite, but we're not gonna spoil it right now. You guys have probably a week and a half because
Dude,
I'll be back
I don't even
October
know if I've
22nd.
Seen 3 Halloween movies.
Yes, it doesn't have to be Halloween. It can be anything that's
any horror movie
scary.
that would creep you out on Halloween.
Yeah, but
All
don't
right.
talk about it right now because we want to be
Yeah,
surprised.
Secrets.
You know.
Serious.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys off screen like what are my favorite, but I want to save the rest. So just to give you guys ideas, but I'm not gonna share them on the video. But anyways, we'll see you guys. We'll be back October 22nd. We'll do Addams Family. We'll do Gemini Man, and if by that time JoJo the Rabbit comes out, we'll definitely be seeing that because that movie is gonna be amazing. At least I hope so. So take care, guys. Thank you for joining us on episode 11 of Geekdom Movies. Bye.